What's up everyone, Sox101 here, and today we are coming back at you with some Vespa Queen Park Rangers pre-drop. I still haven't changed that, I'm such a bum. Sorry for that once again, but this is actually going to be team building part 2, cause it's week 2, it is already entered, it is still Monday, it's Tuesday in about 15 minutes, but so this week we are playing the Halfmoon Honchkrows, playing Kill and Krillin. I've never played this guy. I don't know how good he is. I don't know anything about this guy, and the only thing I'm kind of hoping is it's not going to be last week. We all know what happened right there, and I mean the scoreline was fine. The scoreline was great. I prepared well, so let's actually continue that going into this week. And looking at his team, he went with his signature mon first round, which is kind of a iffy draft if you ask me. Honchkrow, then Doublade, Verithorn, Ditto, Scolipede, Jirachi, Sigiliv, Mega Alakazam, which I'm actually pretty scared of. Dusclops, Starmie, and then this last is Alamamola. Alamamola is actually one of the biggest threats to my team. Even though I have Mega Gardevoir, it's kind of the only really hard hitting special wall. So This is the team. The things I really got to prepare for is Sigiliv, because he swept with Sigiliv last week with the Cosmic Power standard set with the Psycho Shift. Yeah, with Psycho Shift. And Alamamola can actually be a regional threat to my team. The rest of the team I'm not too worried about. Honchkrow is actually pretty slow. Not my team is definitely not the fastest around, but I mean it's gonna be alright. We have Ditto, which is also always a kind of a threat. I mean, you can always bring that and catch your opponent off guard. Scolipede is actually one of the fastest things around. You could use Baton Pass, you could use it offensively, you could use it Hazard Stock, whatever he wants to. It all kind of works. But let's just go into my team. You've seen a team. If you want to take a longer look at it, just pause it right here. There are a lot of things I'm not really afraid of, being Doublade, Verithorn. Mainly steel types I'm not really too worried about, because my team generally deals kind of well with them, even though I do have Mega Gardevoir, but that's alright. So going into the team, I decided to go with Guts Heracross, because Guts Heracross with a sub-sword stance actually destroys his team completely once it gets a substitute. And the thing I actually plan on getting a substitute on is Alamamola, because Alamamola is like one of the only switch-ins to Heracross, and he did see me bring a Scarf set last week, so maybe he thinks I'm going to do that again as soon as he sees Heracross. So his initial switch into this is actually Alamamola, and I figure, you know what, as soon as I get a sub, he can't break my substitute in one hit, and then afterwards I can just switch stance and I'm just going to rack up kills as fast as I can with Heracross being behind the sub. That's why we're running leftovers, and that's why I actually run Guts as well, so I can actually switch this guy into Alamamola. It's not recommendable, but if I'm actually forced into a situation like that, I will definitely do that, and it will work out greatly. So second we have Empoleon. I actually forgot to give them nicknames, but Empoleon is running Choppleberry because Focus Blast. I'm very afraid of Mega Alakazam, and this is kind of a check to Alakazam. It could definitely take a hit, probably be put into Torrent, and then do a lot of damage with Scald. I did actually prepare reasonably well for Alakazam. Maybe I overdid it a bit, but you'll see later on that I should actually manage to deal reasonably well with Alakazam. This is kind of my first switch, and I still have a Scissor as well, so we're gonna do all right. I'm not very afraid of the Mega Alakazam. So we Scald HP Fire because the initial switch into this guy is actually Verithorn, and if you can get an HP Fire on that, that's just gonna be great. I didn't actually run Calyx on the Verithorn. Maybe I'm really close to 2 at KOing it, and then I'm just gonna go change the EV spread just a tiny bit. But the reason why I am running 52 in speed is actually to outspeed his Alamamola, because that thing is actually base 65 base speed. So 0 speed Alamamola gets outsped by this particular spread on my Empoleon, and I can get out of a Toxic before it does anything to me. So Heracross actually ran a particular spread as well. I do think this is enough to outspeed Adamant Honchkrows, so it can only Sucker Punch me as soon as I discover it's Adamant. I'm obviously going to be running a lot of Calyx during the game. Heracross is not going to be my initial switch to Honchkrow anyway, so I won't. But as soon as I get in on it, or he brings it in on me, I just have to go away. As soon as I already know that it's adamant, I can just stay in and close combat its face off, because Honchkrows has piss poor defenses. So next one is going to be Gardevoir, which I did not give all the EVs, but I actually decided to go with max speed timid because I want to outspeed the Sigilift, because after 1 cosmic power, Hyper Voice still 2 at KOs. So as soon as that guy comes in, I immediately pull a switch into this, or my other attack, which you will see in a second. On so this is also just something which carries HP Fire, because it's quad super effective against Ferrothorn, because Ferrothorn is an initial switch into this guy. I'm not sure what's happening with my webcam right now, but so that's a thing. And then we have Hyper Voice, and then we have Sight Shotgun's Dual Stab. I do fucking lamp, dude. So this should be better, should be a bit better. Okay, there we go. And I kind of wanted to put Shadow Ball on it because Doublade, but then I figured, well, HP Fire is better coverage because that also hits the Ferrothorn really hard. It's the Jirachi reasonably hard. And Dusclops is not the biggest threat anyway. So I do think Mega Gardevoir can rack up a lot of kills this week, as long as I play it well, as long as I play it decent. I do outspeed the majority of his team, and Mega Gardevoir can actually be my late game sweeper. So that's kind of what I'm aiming for. It depends on the team he's going to bring, depends on the Scarfer that's going to be coming out. Rachi, we speed high with Jirachi, so I don't really want to do that. I might well bring Scarf Rachi, might bring the annoying Cunty Rachi with the T-Wave Iron Head. I have no idea what he's going to bring, but I have some checks for that, so that's cool. Next off we have Swords Dance Scissor. This is actually a really beneficial set because the attack investment allows me to. I ran all these colleagues, I forgot, but the speed AVs is maybe if he wants to like speed creep my Scissor, so I decided to put some speed AVs into it, and then I figured I'd only need 128 adamant for something. I do think that's to do lots of I calculated with the Mega Alakazam. It might actually OHKO after. Yeah, it actually OHKOs after a Sword Stance with this investment. It should do that earlier, doesn't it? But so we're just gonna go with that knowledge. I put U-turn because he has some checks to Scissor. I don't want to stay in on those. I don't want Scissor to take a lot of damage, and I am prepared for Hidden Power Fire Alakazam, so I can actually switch in on Alakazam. I put everything in HP. I have max HP, and I put the remainder of EVs that I had. I put the minimal amount of attack investment that I needed into attack with an adamant nature. Then I put the remainder in Spadef. So this guy can actually take heads. So I just put the remainder in Spadef. It's not actually particularly to take something, but so we're just gonna go with the next one. This guy is basically to keep initiative with the U-turn for some things out. I have superpower for Ferrothorn, as it can basically set up in that guy's face. This guy can also be used as a late game sweeper with the short stance bullet punch combination. So Scissor actually looking really solid this week. I did put a lot of thought in it, and yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this, but I'm not as looking forward as much to Scissor as I'm looking forward to this next guy, which is going to be Pyroar. It is Choice Scarf Timid Pyroar because I needed to run Timid, because otherwise it doesn't outspeed Mega Alakazam. I needed to run this particular EV spread because maybe it was 204, but then I had an even number of HP, so I decided to run 208. Timid. This actually allows me to outspeed Megazam. I'm not sure how much Dark Pulse does, but I do think. I did figure that Overheat is actually going to be very beneficial because his team's very fire weak, and I brought Dark Pulse basically for coverage for the Starmie, because Starmie could be an initial switch in. Alamamola could be switched in. That's why I'm actually carrying Toxic when on a Choice Scarf Pyroar. If I want to predict the if the switch to Alamamola is painfully obvious, I'm just gonna pick Toxic and get the Toxic off on that thing. It's not necessary, it's just a flashy play. That's the only reason it's there, really. It doesn't get switcheroo, doesn't get tricked, so that's basically why that's happening. That's why we're running this kind of Pyroar set. I did figure that this could also be a late game sweeper. I have a lot of late game sweepers. I have a wall breaker being my Heracross. I have a wall breaker potentially being my Mega Gardevoir. Also potentially being a late game sweeper, as it's probably one of the fastest things. It outspeeds the majority of his team. I have a late game sweeper and Scissor, which also is my Alakazam check. I have a late game sweeper, which could be a Pyroar, but this is also a check to a lot of his, especially Alakazam, because I need to get some damage off on it. And I do think Bullet Punch kills Alakazam after, like no sword sounds, etc. After the flamethrower from Pyroar. I do think I calc that. Could well be the case. I completely forgot, but we'll see as we go into battle. And so last week, as I said, he ended up winning with Sigilyph, and I didn't like seeing that. So he's gonna be running mono attacking one. But what actually I decided to do is bring up Crocoon, because it kind of does that. And I'm running Skull, Shadow Ball, Psycho, Resto Chesto, max defense, because this is actually also a pseudo check to his Honchkrow, as it doesn't even take half from Brave Bird. Life for Brave Bird, Life for Adam and Brave Bird. Actually can do a lot with Scald. I am running Psych because as soon as Sigilyph is getting too many boosts, I'm just gonna steal them and retaliate with a Shadow Ball, which should do a lot. I'm just gonna steal his stat changes all the time, so the Sigilyph is not going anywhere this game, and I can just rest up and do that on his face and do all kind of nasty stuff to the Sigilyph in general. So that's why I actually ran a leftovers. I actually ran Crocoon for this week, or actually Calm Mind over Psych Up. Still Resto Chesto though, but actually I used to run Calm Mind, but then I saw his replay because he played very late. He played like Sunday, the last opportunity I actually played. He had 3 hours left or something, and he actually played his game then. And he brought Sigilyph, he brought the annoying cunty Sigilyph, and I decided, you know what? I'm not gonna get swept by that thing. I'm just gonna bring Psych Up Suicune. So I didn't even know if Suicune got Psych Up, but I figured it probably would. So that's kind of why I went with it. That's gonna be it. That's gonna be. I'm very much looking forward to Heracross putting in a lot of work this week. I do think it potentially can if he does end up bringing Almamola. This Napoleon style HP Fire I do think is very cheeky. It could well work, it could not work, but he has a lot of steel types, so I decided to bring 3 fire coverage moves. I have a Pyroar as well to back me up, and so we're gonna see from there. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If there's anything you see particular weaknesses on my team, the trade week is actually coming up next week, and I would actually like to add some speeds, but I'm not really sure what I want to add. I will leave the link to the draft in the description, so you can actually look at what's undrafted and what I could actually pick up instead of the mons I currently have. A smart trade, what a smart trade would be, because the trading rules would actually be, I could well drop 2 Pokemon right now and pick up 2 from free agency. So the rules are very loose. I think it's probably because we're first seasoners, and we should probably change that. And there hasn't been a lot of thought put into this, into these draft thingies, into these into these changes. So into the transfer period, basically. So that's gonna be it for today. Hope you enjoyed my video, and I will see you guys tomorrow, which is actually going to be a balanced Mega Alakazam upload, and the day after I really want to upload this game. So let's see if we play it, if Michael and I, because we are 6 hours apart from each other, could actually fit on some time and battle each other. So I will see you guys tomorrow.